Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Shanti Wellness Show. I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji, and today I'm really excited that we're going to talk about essential oils. Now, my hunch is you must be wondering, okay, this is episode number 3, so what were the first 2 episodes about? Well, let me tell you what they were about. The first episode was about the 5 keys to improve your relationship with food, and I went through those. And I also gave you a handout that you can stick up on your fridge if you like, or in your office desk, and just go through them every day because it takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight, okay? Those kinds of habits take practice. So I would advise you to go down to this website here, this link, shantywellnesscenter.com/blog, and you'll see the last 2 episodes on there. So that's episode number 1. Number 2 was about Ayurveda and the body types that are, kind of part of that, diet or lifestyle, I should say, not diet, lifestyle. And that too, there is a quiz that you can take, and I offered the link that time, as well as a handout there. So, you know what? There's only 2 episodes. You may want to do a binge watch or what they call a marathon. And you never know, by the time we get to 100, you may find me then and say, this looks interesting, maybe I'll watch the others too. So do that. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Alishia Alibhai. Hey, Alishia, you want to say hi to the viewers?
Hi, everyone.
Okay, good. Okay, so just a little bit about how I met Alishia. And before I do that, you must be wondering, this is a nice, kind of lower third is what we call it on the show. But I want you to put your attention up here, which is a recipe book that I came up with. And it's an East Indian recipe book, but with healthy recipes. And you want to get a hold of that. So make sure, again, you go to shantywellnesscenter.com, enter your email, and get the recipe from there. Okay, so Alishia and I met a few years ago, and she's in Calgary, Alberta, and we were at a wedding, and we sat on the same table as her family, and we started talking, and we realized we have the same interests. So we have a wellness center, and we help people. We we do our best to heal and transform and make them laugh, and she does the same kind of, it was so amazing just to sit there, and we could talk for hours, but then we had to go dance too. So we had a lot of fun, but I kept connected with her. I subscribed to her email list, and I love seeing her emails because she's always got these amazing workshops that she does. And I wish I was in Calgary so I could actually go and attend the workshops, but I'm not in Calgary. So if you're listening to this show, and if you're watching it, and if you're in Calgary or you happen to go there, make sure you look up Divine Bliss. So let me share that with you here. Divine Bliss, right there. That's divinebliss.ca. And go on there, make sure you subscribe to her email, and you'll be amazed at the kinds of things that she does. But I'm not going to take her thunder away because I want to get her on the show and tell us a little bit about herself. Hey, Alishia, so come on up and tell us what made you start this, what are you doing, and where are you taking it?
Thank you so much, Zaheen. It's such a joy and a pleasure to be on this show with you. So thank you. So basically how I got started back in grad school when I was completing my degree in psychology, I was really drawn to alternative methods of healing and helping us to achieve optimal health and wellness. And so my journey first took me to a type of energy healing called Reiki. And so that's where my journey actually started. So while I was completing my master's and my PhD degrees, I got certified in Reiki. And it was very interesting because, of course, in school, everything was so scientific and experimental. And then there was this other part of me that was drawn to energy and healing and vibration, which is exactly what the oils do, and I'll get to that in a moment. So I started with Reiki And then once I graduated from psychology, I decided to go and train as a soul coach and a past life coach because I was interested in past life healing and soul coaching. So I went and completed that and came back and started offering these services, and was at a trade show one day randomly with my sister, and we came across a booth that was selling these essential oils. And I didn't know a lot about them at the time, but I was fascinated by what I was told they could do for our entire being. So our spirit, our mind, our body, and our emotions. And I thought this is perfect for what I'm already helping people do, and what a great addition. So my journey began there with the oils. I purchased them and started learning about them. And the more that I learned about them, and the more that I delved deeper into them, I realized that there is something quite powerful here that is so natural and comes from plants, which we have all around us. And so I not only was so first I started using them in my own personal life. I was my own experiment. And then now I love, encouraging clients to use them if it feels right for them. And just kind of, I focus on, different people have different things going on in their lives. And I just focus on, what it is they're experiencing, and
Yeah.
help them to find oils that work. It's
Oh,
such it's such a great tool.
okay. So for those of you just joining us, this is the Shanti Wellness Show, and we're on episode number 3, and we are talking about essential oils. And it's Essential Oils 101, basically, because I myself do not know much about it, and so I want to learn more, so that when people come to the wellness center and they have some kind of things going on, whether it's stress or some kind of physical, things that they're trying to heal, then I know what to tell them if nothing else is working. And maybe essential oils is the first way to go. So again, I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji, and we're talking about essential oils. Okay, so Alicia, let's get right to the point of essential oils. Where do they come from?
Okay, so essential oils come from plants. Um, so um, so the specific, like the oils that I use are actually steam distilled. So what happens is you have all the plant matter, they're put into a distilling machine, and all like the plant matter, the protein chains, the amino acids, all that actually sinks to the bottom of the machine, and what floats is the oil. And
Oh,
that's the oil that we get in the bottle that we then use on ourselves. So they come from plants, they come from trees, flowers. So they're very natural. And an oil, if you think about it, it's the lifeblood of a plant. And I find this so powerful. It's the life force of a plant. Um, so that's basically where they come from, is plants, trees, and flowers.
okay, okay. So why are they so like, we kind of hear all this stuff, right, in the news, especially when it comes to natural things, that essential oils are the way to go when it comes to wellness and emotional well-being. In fact, there are times when I have a headache and someone will say, hey, put some Japanese mint oil, dab some spots. And it really helps, because in 15-20 minutes, I'm feeling awesome. So tell me, how are they so, beneficial to emotional well-being and wellness?
So first, I just want to say that what's really interesting about essential oils is a lot of people think that this is something that's new. But in fact, oils have been used throughout the ages, and they're just gaining in popularity again. So, if we look to our past, people have used oils historically for all kinds of things. Like they've used them in ceremony, they've used them for their health and wellness. They've used them when people have passed on. Certain tribes, they would use oils when someone had died, for the ceremony. I mean, there's so many uses, and of course for the health and wellness. So they've been used throughout the ages, which is really interesting. Now, specifically in answer to your question, well, why do these oils work, and how can they do what they do? Well, what's interesting, the oils have the effect that they do on us because an oil is, so like I mentioned, it's the life force of a plant. It's the defense mechanism of a plant. So if you think about it, a plant, to prevent itself from dying or being eaten by an insect, or to prevent itself from any kind of disease, the plant, that's what so the essential oil is what protects it. The essential oil is the defense mechanism. So we as humans are using the defense mechanism of the plant on our systems, on our bodies. So then someone might say, well, we're not plants, so how does that work, Alisha? And so the reason that it works is because the oils have a frequency. Essential oils from plants have a frequency, and that's, so it's like a measurable rate of electrical energy that we can actually measure. And so what's also interesting is we have frequencies which can be measured.
Mm-hmm.
So essential oils with their frequencies and our bodies with our frequencies can actually, they're comparable. Like they can, when you take something that is of a higher frequency and you apply it to a human body, which also has a frequency, the lower frequency will rise to meet the higher frequency. And that's where the healing and the optimal health and wellness comes in. So, for example, the human brain is roughly 72 to 90 megahertz, just on like roughly, okay? But let's say if we have a cold, the megahertz, if you were to measure it with the machine, would be lower. So let's say that if we've got a cold and our megahertz is maybe down to like only 60 megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
If you take an essential oil that's vibrating at 80 megahertz, it will actually help to raise our body to that 80, which is a better level of health. And that's where we see the healing occur. That's where we see, the feeling better happen.
Oh, okay. So then I just want to understand this in, layman terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is that the way we have an immune system that has white blood cells that helps to defend our body, the
Mm-hmm.
plants have essential oils as their white blood cells to defend themselves, correct?
Exactly. And so we're taking the plant's defense mechanism and using it for ourselves. And it's, I mean, like I said, this has been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. So yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is, how you described it.
Okay. So tell me then, why aren't we using this more now? Why are people still gravitating towards the Western medicine, which is more chemical based and does different things to our bodies? And there's no frequency, I think, when it comes to chemicals coming in through our body. So tell me, how can we make this knowledge out there for others to understand that, hey, you don't have to go to chemicals, you can use essential oils. But I'm guessing there's something to do with diseases out there that it may not work for everyone, but I don't know anything about that. So why don't you take that on?
So with essential oils, the thing is so of course the pharmaceutical industry is a huge industry, right? And it's what's most widely well known right now. So a lot of people are most comfortable using or taking something that they know.
Mm-hmm.
They're comfortable using something that has maybe more extensive research, though, like you said, there's side effects, there's chemicals, there can be dangers. Um, the field of essential oils is there. A lot of people aren't aware of it. A lot of people don't know about it. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing which might result in people thinking, oh, those oils don't work, what we need to consider is body chemistry is different. So for example, Zaheen, let's say you decide you want to take an oil for, let's say, to help you deepen your meditation. Let's say you're going to go for, okay, I want this oil because I want to connect more deeply in my meditation. And let's say you use the oil frankincense.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say it works great for you and you have a wonderful meditation. It's deep, you get some amazing messages and visuals and whatnot. And let's say I take the same oil, I take the frankincense. You tell me, oh, Alicia, the frankincense did wonders for my meditation. And I take the same oil and I sit down to meditate and I don't have the same effect. Well, I could then conclude that essential oils don't work.
Mm.
And remember, take this example to apply to any other reason you might use an essential oil. But it's not that the oil doesn't work, it's that your body chemistry is different from my body chemistry. And maybe lavender would have done the same amazing benefits to my meditation as it did, as frankincense did for you. So that's kind of this area where people then aren't sure and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. So I mean, my motto is, if an oil doesn't work, try a different one,
Okay.
because just because it works for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for everyone, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. But I mean, I tell people, use lots of oils, use different ones, and you'll find the ones that really resonate with your body's energy and your body's frequency.
That's exactly what I was just going to ask you, is that, well, if it didn't work for me, then how would I know? But what you're saying is trial and error. Go with the ones that really align with you, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you just joining us, I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji, and welcome to the Shanti Wellness Show. This is episode number 3, and we are talking about essential oils with Dr. Alishia Alibhai, who's out of Calgary, Alberta, and her website is divinebliss.ca. And if you missed the last 2 episodes, then I encourage you to go to this website here, shantiwellnesscenter.com/blog, and you will be able to see the other 2 episodes that you may have missed out on. And hey, make it a marathon, okay? So we're just going to continue on and speak about essential oils and find out more about that. So I guess my next question would be, and I'm sure that the viewers have the same questions. Well, how do I know what to start with? What are the most common ones? Or, what if I have a health issue that I want to work on? How would I know what to go and pick? Where can I start?
So it's a really great question, Zaheen. And what we need to remember is that we have to always remind ourselves that we all have different body chemistries. So if you don't know where to start, just start with one oil. The one thing to be really careful of is you need to make sure you're using pure therapeutic grade oils, because if these oils have any chemicals or any fillers in them, they're not going to be much benefit, and in fact they might do more harm. And unfortunately, there's a lot of oils on the market that have chemicals and fillers in them.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be really careful of the type of oil you choose.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best oils to start with that's very common is lavender.
Mm.
Most people have heard of it. Most people know about it. It's a very calming oil. Um, it's just amazing. So I would try lavender as a great starting place for helping to relax and helping to really just bring peace, feelings of peace. It's a great nighttime oil.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used lavender, Zaheen?
Yes, and I know you're suffering from a cold, so I'll just let you have a sip of that water while I show people some of the oils that you're talking about. So lavender is, like, we have one here that we sell at the wellness center, but I know that you sell others. So lavender for sure. Like, we put that in the bath. We also put some when we do massages and stuff, because we want the client to relax, and it really helps them relax and just kind of feel loose, so we can massage better. So that's something that we do. And I know that tea tree oil is, one of the ones that we have been told, that I've been taught, that is really good for if you're suffering from any kind of, I guess, infections. Is that right?
So I'm not too sure about that. What I have heard about tea trees, it's great for supporting the skin.
Oh, okay, okay. So you would recommend that to someone with, like, acne, maybe, or?
Yeah, so any kind of skin related issues, absolutely.
Oh,
Um, Skin, hair, it's really good for the hair.
okay, okay. And then, so what about the Japanese mint oil?
So I'm not too familiar with the Japanese mint oil, but I love peppermint.
Mm. And that would be good for, like, headaches and stuff?
So any kind of, yeah, like tension, supporting the digestive system. It's really great. So digestive system would be my favorite use for peppermint for supporting that body system.
Okay. And
Another
mhm, go ahead. Another one.
Excuse me, sorry. Another great one would be lemon. Lemon's a great basic one. It's a very uplifting oil, the lemony scent, and you can also use it to clean your home.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. Okay, that's a good one. And
Hmm.
I know a lot of people ask about eucalyptus.
Yes.
So that's right here, eucalyptus. What's that for?
So I like to use eucalyptus to support the respiratory system. So, like for example, right now, as you mentioned, I'm getting over a bit of a cold, and eucalyptus is one of my favorite ones. It really helps to support the breathing. So great for that. And my favorite way to use it is just to put it in the diffuser and just have it diffusing in the air. It's a beautiful smell too.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here we go. Like we're at 20 minutes and we're almost down to the end of the show. But I would like to remind you that if you are in the Wetaskiwin area, which is where I'm airing this from, we are doing a conference, a Shanti Wellness conference on April 2nd. And Dr. Alishia Alibhai is going to do a 1 hour keynote on just essential oils and how they can help you with your emotional well-being. Hey, we use the S word all the time. And I'm not talking about the 3 letter word, I'm talking about stress. Okay? And we use it 24/7. You know, people are stressed and this and that. And so I find that stress is the biggest cause of disease. And I think with her coming and talking to us about essential oils and how they can help us deal with that, that would be great. So do you agree with me, Dr. Alishia Alibhai, about stress and how it can be the cause of a lot of things that we go through?
Yes, I believe stress is one of the biggest. I think right now, I think stress is the main thing that's causing a lot of the struggles people have in their life. It's huge, whether it's, things in the physical body, relational issues, career issues, spiritual connectedness issues, emotional issues. I think stress is one of the main causes of all of these struggles that we're seeing today. Absolutely. It's one of the things we must pay attention to.
And you will be like you're teaching us that on April 2nd on how we can use essential oils for our emotional well-being, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And really to balance our emotions and to achieve that optimal health and wellness that is so important for every aspect of our life.
Yes, good. Okay, so we've come to the end of our show, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch the show. If you have any questions, please, make a comment on our page there, as well as go to shantiwellnesscenter.com/blog. Make sure you get your copy of the Namaste Paleo Lifestyle recipes, which are the recipes that I have made. There are about 30 of them in there, so make sure you also get your copy. So next month, we will have a couple of other guests who will be talking about different things. One is a lady who is from Toronto, and she specializes in menopause. And she'll be talking about how we as women can go through that, especially if you're going through menopause. So make sure that you get on that. And then the next speaker, well, I'll let you know when that comes to fruition. But I'd like to thank Dr. Alishia Alibhai for taking the time to be with us. Any last words before we call it a day?
Oh, I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in, and I really hope to see you guys at the wellness conference. And remember, with essential oils, just start somewhere. Pick an oil and use it. You know what? It might have the most amazing effects for you that you didn't even think might happen. So jump in and start using them.
Awesome. So it's divinebliss.ca. Please
Yes.
go to divinebliss.ca and subscribe to her email list. Thank you so much. Bye now.